If you are a single dad over 50, you might think your life experience and maturity make you a catch in the modern dating world. Last week, a guy I'll call Mark, a fit, successful 52-year-old, called me completely baffled. He told me, "I don't get it. The date went great. We laughed for 2 hours and now she's ghosting me." When I asked him what they talked about, he proudly said, "Oh, I laid all my cards on the table. Told her about my ex, my custody schedule, and how I'm ready to find a wife right now." I had to stop him right there. Mark thought he was being honest. Instead, he handed her a giant checklist of red flags within the first 20 minutes. If you are a single dad over 50, you might be making these exact same invisible mistakes, especially number 4, which kills your chances before the appetizers even arrive. 1. Bringing up your ex way too soon. Let us address the elephant in the room. You have history, and that is completely fine. You were married, or you shared a long-term life with someone, and eventually things came to an end. That chapter is closed, finished, and left in the past. So why on earth are you opening that dusty old book on date number 1? When you talk about your ex, whether you are praising her accomplishments or burying her character, you send one crystal clear message to the woman sitting across from you. You are not over it. Women in their 40s and 50s have zero patience for baggage validation. They have lived through their own trials. They have done their own healing, and they are looking for a fresh, unburdened chapter. They want an equal partner, not an unpaid therapist or an emotional rebound receptacle. Think about how this dynamic feels from her perspective. She is sitting across from a handsome, established man, hoping to talk about travel, shared laughs, culinary adventures, and current passions. Instead, she finds herself listening to a 30-minute post-mortem on a divorce that finalized 5 years ago. It completely drains the romantic electric energy out of the room. It shifts the entire vibe from a flirty, exciting encounter to an uncomfortable support group session. You might think you are just being transparent or clearing the air, but she hears unresolved resentment or lingering attachment. If you catch yourself starting a sentence with, "My ex-wife used to," stop immediately. Bite your tongue, swallow the sentence, and pivot hard. Redirect the conversation to something entirely in the present moment. Something light, positive, or forward-looking. Ask her about her favorite weekend, getaway, or what she loves doing on a Sunday morning. Because the moment you make your past relationship the co-pilot of your current date, your new date is already planning her polite exit strategy. She will smile, finish her drink, say it was nice meeting you, and text her friend that you are still married to your past. And trust me, you do not want to see what mistake number 2 looks like, because it is the absolute fastest way to kill all physical chemistry instantly. 2. Acting like a dad instead of a date. Listen, you are a great dad. You raised kids, you managed households, you paid tuition bills, and you solved crises under pressure. That is your superpower in life. The badge of honor you earned through decades of hard work and dedication. But here is the brutal truth. It is absolute kryptonite in romance. Some single dads slip straight into protector manager or instructor mode the moment they sit down across from a woman. You start correcting her order at dinner because you think you know the menu better, or you want her to eat healthier. You give unsolicited advice on her career stress, analyzing her office politics as if she applied for a position under your supervision. Or you question her lifestyle choices with a slight, patronizing paternal tone that you do not even realize is leaking out of your voice. If you treat her like a project to optimize or a puzzle to solve, she will delete your number before she even gets her car out of the parking garage. A real sustainable romantic connection requires 2 emotional equals, looking at each other eye to eye, not an expert managing a subordinate. When you drop the dad act and step into your masculine, playful, curious self, the entire energy shifts. You stop lecturing and start connecting. Which brings us directly to a trap almost every devoted, loving father falls into right away without recognizing the damage it causes. 3. Treating your kids like your dating committee. Your kids mean everything to you. They are your legacy, your joy, and your primary focus. I completely get it. Your entire world revolves around them, especially if you share custody or raise them entirely solo through difficult years. Here is where guys completely screw up. They treat their adult or teenage children like a panel of judges and advisors for every single woman they text or take out. You bring a new woman around far too fast, forcing an awkward, high-tension dynamic where everyone is uncomfortable, sizing each other up before a real bond has even had a chance to form. Or worse, you run every single text message, interaction by your 20-something daughter or teenage son for approval and strategic advice. You find yourself asking things like, "Do you think she looks nice in this profile picture?" Or "Should I text her back immediately or wait an hour to look cool?" Stop and think about how dysfunctional that is. Your kids love you fiercely, but they do not need to vet your romantic life, and they certainly do not want to manage your love life. Doing this places massive unfair and inappropriate pressure on your children, dragging them into the middle of your adult dating choices. More importantly, it completely scares away high-quality, emotionally healthy women. A smart woman wants an adult relationship with an autonomous man, not a blended family sitcom audition on week 2 where she has to pass an interview with your kids before you can even hold her hand. It signals to her that you lack independent boundaries and cannot make a decision about your own heart without family consensus. It tells her that any future relationship will always be subjected to a committee. Vote by people who didn't choose to date her. Keep your kids protected. Keep your sacred family life separate from your early dating life until things are genuinely serious, long-term and proven to last. Build the foundation between the two of you first. Because if you fail to maintain that crucial boundary, you will inevitably smash right into mistake number 4, and this particular mistake destroys your confidence from the inside out. 4. Apologizing for your past. I know I come with a lot of baggage. Have you ever said that sentence out loud on a date? Stop saying it immediately, right now. Erase it from your vocabulary forever. When you apologize for being a single dad over 50, you frame your rich life experience, your sacrifices, and your history as a defect. It is not a defect. It is depth. You have lived through major life transitions. You have survived heartbreaks. You have built a career. You have raised human beings, and you have loved deeply. That makes you resilient, seasoned, emotionally rich, and grounded. When you lead with apologies and self-deprecation, you teach a woman precisely how to view you. You hand her a magnifying glass and tell her to look for your flaws. You tell her, careful, I am broken goods, handle with extreme caution. High-value, emotionally intelligent women do not want to fix broken men. They are not running a charitable rescue mission for damaged souls. They want a man who owns his story, flaws and scars and all, with a quiet, unshakable, magnetic confidence. When you bring up your custody schedule or your past marriage, do not whisper it like a dark secret or frame it as a burden you are forcing her to carry. State it plainly, calmly, and proudly as the logistical reality of your successful, full life. Own your gray hair because it earned its place. Own your history because it made you who you are today. And never ever apologize for the life you fought tooth and nail to build. When you carry yourself with this kind of unshakable self-respect, you completely flip the dynamic. She stops seeing an inventory of problems and starts seeing a mature, stable man who knows his worth. Now, number 5 is the sneaky one. It is the subtle, insidious habit that most well-meaning guys think is harmless romance, but it quietly repels the exact kind of high-value woman you actually want to attract into your life. 5. Moving at breakneck speed. You are older now. You look at the calendar and you realize that time feels shorter than it used to. You know exactly what you want. You know who you are, and you ask yourself, why waste time playing games or beating around the bush? So you panic accelerate. You rush everything. You start talking about moving in together. After 3 weeks of texting, because you secretly hate the quiet loneliness of an empty house, you text constantly all day, every day, turning your smartphone into an electronic leash that suffocates any natural mystery. You plan romantic weekend getaways to Paris or a mountain cabin. 6 months out on date number 2, you call it being decisive, passionate, and romantic. She looks at it and calls it a massive, blaring red flag parade. Intensity is not intimacy. Let me repeat that for the back row. Intensity is not intimacy. Moving at breakneck speed is almost always a mask for internal insecurity, a desperate, panic-driven fear of being alone, or an inability to sit comfortably with your own company. Real connection requires room to breathe. It takes time to build genuine trust, layer by layer, without forcing an artificial, rushed timeline just to fill an emotional void. Slow down. Take a deep breath. Let her invest in you at the exact same pace you invest in her. Stop texting her every 5 minutes and go live your vibrant, interesting life. Let her chase you a little bit, wonder what you're up to, and look forward to hearing from you. Give the relationship the physical and emotional room it needs to grow organically, naturally, and securely. Because when you finally stop trying to rush the ending and force a prefabricated future, you might actually relax, enjoy the process, and experience the absolute best chapter of your entire life.